Maybe one day I'll be the Bob Ross of comic book videos. Happy little speed line. Let's give this little speed line a friend. Oh, there. Perfect. Something to say?
You're such a nerd.
I used to fall asleep with Bob Ross. I still use it to fall asleep.
I was gonna say used to.
There's a bunch of people who use those videos to fall asleep too, like millennials who discovered it. It's pretty funny. So the trick to this is a clear ruler, so you can like see where the other lines are. Sometimes I'll realize I'm not quite lined up, so I'll have to start twisting the ruler a little bit to meet the other lines. I know this is all stuff that's extremely fascinating to my wife.
I have an itch on my arm. The camera's gonna jostle for a second.
Great. That's right.
Okay.
Amazing award-winning production value here at Sean Murphy YouTube channel. So I designed, talking to my wife mostly, so this is called it's a Gundam basically, and it's just these giant Japanese robots. So I was basing it off a Gundam, but there's so many of these damn action figures out there that even though I thought I came up with like a unique mask, it had already been done. And when I posted it on Instagram, a lot of people were like, "Oh, awesome, nice Gundam blankety blank." And I'm like, "What?" And they showed me a picture. I'm like, "Fuck!"
Oh shoot. What does that mean? Does it have to change?
It means that there's so many Gundams that it's impossible to come up with anything unique, and I don't think it'll be a problem. This is just a 2-page origin story of Johnny manga.
Right.
So what happens is he's like, there's this city that's a city of samurais, and in the background it's protected by a big Gundam, and this guy finds out that his master's been killed, so he quickly steals his car, which is of course a sweet Japanese Toyota Celica, starts the engine, and he's like driving up the mountain to the Gundam, and he's being attacked by the enemies, of course. Of course he's power sliding, because that's awesome. He drives up the road here to get into the brain of the Gundam and engage the sweet 1970 Toyota Celica into the Gundam, and it's just like, ching! And that's when he starts fighting these things, and he's powering the whole thing from behind the wheel of his car. So it's kind of a mix of everything awesome and ridiculous about Gundam anime manga that at least I love. Sorry, I gotta get more ink here. So it was cool. I mean, it was definitely hard. I mean, each of these pages took me twice as long because I had to learn how to draw anime, and not even claiming to be good at it. But I remember writing this story, or pitching it to a friend of ours, and he turned it down because he's like, I can't draw all that. And I'm like, what do you mean? You don't want to learn how to draw anime and comic strips and blah blah blah? And he's like, man, I don't know of anybody that can draw that script. I'm like, oh, thank you. I apologize to my European viewers who weren't able to see the last inking video. Because I'm an idiot, I forgot that I can't just play any music I want in the background, and because I used Cypress Hill, I think YouTube caught me and deleted silent, or stopped my video from being put out over there, so I do apologize. I figure if I use some really low volume synthwave right now, it should be okay. If that doesn't work, next time I'll have my wife sing while I do this. She's a great song that she sings about Jean-Luc Picard. Do you want to sing some right now?
I do not. But it does keep us occupied on road trips.
What I do is, because she has perfect pitch, and
I would not say that.
Whatever, you're a trained
I'm classically
singer.
trained, but
You are literally on Broadway. So for this stuff, I'm going to freehand it, even though it's a risk. Breathe out. Put my finger at the starburst point. similar technique I use for rain. And it helps to have different variations of thicknesses in the lines. It's okay if they cross a little bit. My understanding that is in Japan when they make these comics, there's a team of people. So you have one guy that's like, or girl, that's like the speedline person, and the other person is the robot person, and they just kind of hand it on down the line. You have the tentacle porn artist, and you have the speedline artist, and it goes back to the tentacle porn artist, and it goes to the car artist, and the tiny person artist, and then the artist that does the larger people. Seems like a more fun work environment, but I sort of like being the only guy doing everything if I can. So these run through here. Well, I'll clean those up in white and get them later. So here's that point right there. This is a deleter nib, Japanese steel. I just like saying Japanese steel because it sounds cool. Honda is also Japanese steel. Does it turn you on when you see how good I am at speed lines?
I was just thinking, God, those are a lot of lines to draw.
So mostly you find this exhausting, not a turn on.
Am I supposed to be turned on by a whole lot of tiny lines?
It would be nice if you were. I mean, I wouldn't hate it. Like, oh my god, those speed lines. And I need you to speed line all over my face now.
Oh my god.
Hey, you're an erotic romance writer.
Yeah, I know. You don't have to tell me.
Okay. Do a few more.
Tiny lines don't tend to be our thing in erotic romance.
Ooh. Is that a dick joke?
That was.
You can make them, I can't. Oh man, my ink. I did my own lens flare for this. I don't know if they use lens flares in manga. They must. Actually, I'm pretty sure they do it. You must have a lens flare guy for a lot of these books. Sometimes when I come in for coffee and you see me with ink in my face, it's because I've been doing this. And I'll hit like a wet pool of ink with a finger and wipe my face with it. And it just happens sometimes.
I find ink on very strange places of you.
Is that a dick joke?
It is not. That is like, I'll find it on like the back of your shoulder sometimes.
Right.
Like you had a scratch on the back of your neck or something and you had ink on your hand.
Right.
Just like, what were you doing out there?
The most embarrassing is when you see it all over my nose and you know where I've been picking. That's right. Eisner Award-winning artist, everybody. Picking his nose with ink on it.
But I've never found ink inside of your nose.
I have.
So there's,
I've blown my nose and
You know,
seen ink.
I was trying to give you a little benefit of the doubt there.
Yeah, it's okay. Everyone says I could be taken down a few notches, so I don't mind being the one doing it. Yep, so that's good for now. I still have to clean up these explosions, add some little, bullets and stuff shooting off the shield, and then this panel of the Johnny manga getting out of the wreck and seeing Ed for the first time. So, yep, that's speed lines. Again, that's a deleter nib. It's Calli ink, which I like to use, and just 500-pound press rough bristol board, or I guess it's medium rough, whatever the middle one is. Vellum? I don't know. Semi-smooth. And yeah,